just to share you guys a little bit more about what the Singapore company can leverage on to to help to reach out to overseas market. Of course, right now we are talking about China. Why China? I will say that first of all, among the biggest country, they are the one who nearest to us. First of all, and secondly, they are the one that who recover first compared to any other. So this is something that you cannot ignore. And there are few schemes that you can look at. However, I would like to just talk about two main schemes that for overseas expansion. So first we call about MRA, call Market Readiness Assistance. So even like, for example, incubator, startup, all those things, you also can look at that. However, need to be aware that to my understanding, you need to be a private limited or LLC. So if you are sole proprietor or partnership, perhaps you'd like to do something about it, okay? So there are three types of MRA that you can look at. First of all, we call overseas market promotion, which is capped at 20,000 or 80%. Likewise, for business development, capped at 50,000 or 50%, but the cap is 50,000. This you got to remember. And of course, the market setup, 30,000. So market setup meaning that it can be you set a company over there, all right? So to do all those things. And if earlier you heard about what 5G sharing for the Guangzhou Zhiwei in fact, ESG is over there. Enterprise Singapore is over there. They help Singapore enterprise as well, those who are startup or those who just want to go for a small scale to to leverage on the scheme to go about it. This is very much applicable if you are engaging external vendor, meaning you cannot help yourself. So we are here, BNCS, we are here to help on that. You can see earlier on that we share you about our team. So for any more things, you can look at this URL that I can share into the chatbot. Okay, so that you all can go through the chatbot over there and click on this URL to know about the scheme in details. The next grant I would like to share about is Enterprise Development Grant. This grant itself, it allows overseas to Singapore company to to go for the salary, okay, expenses and rental expenses. So these two, I think that these two are one of the biggest challenge when we talk about going to overseas. However, you got to remember that when we talk about two business development staff to be there, at least one of them need to be a Singaporean or PR. So this is something you got to look at. And to my understanding is right now, if under the Guangzhou Knowledge City or called Guangzhou Zhiwei, if you are eligible for one of the building over there, that Enterprise Singapore, they allowed for you to get rental for up to 12 months wave, but you got to sign up of 3 years tenancy agreement, if I'm not mistaken. So this is something you can look at. Again, I will share with you the URL over inside the chat group that you all can have a look on that. So how the ESG grant work is, first of all, is very much must be for business development and must be overseas. Yeah. So this is something you got to look at. And in China is huge. So sometimes maybe you already have a business activity in Shanghai, in Shenzhen, all these things, but you do not have business in Guangzhou, you still can do that. So it's not like the whole China, it's go by city because China is huge. So, and of course, when you look at it, over here also show you that, if you already have existing in this particular place, however, it does not exist more than 100,000 in any 1 year for the past 3 years, you are eligible. So this is something you got to take note of. When you talk about go for any government grant, all these criteria is fixed. So you don't try to be flexible. There's no such thing called flexibility. So this is something you got to look at seriously on that. So cap at 100,000 for each project. So bear in mind, it's for each project. All right. And the support can be up to 12 months. So like rental. So that's all I want to share. So it's something very quick because basically this is something very easy for you to read. The next thing what you can look at is if you really want to go for it, you can look for my team or crew member to know that how's the procedure like. The rest, that's all for me. So do you have any question? Yes.
Okay, the grant that you are giving.
Government giving, I don't give grant.
Any Singaporeans that goes over,
yeah,
must they have a certain standard qualification? Must it be a PhD or must it be
No,
a graduate?
no.
Right. Even they are primary school students, okay.
Yes. It is the company is the one who choose them, so it's company criteria. You know, you can accept as a company, it's okay.
So, but the grant that you are applying, you must have a company in Singapore.
Yes, and it got to be a private limited or LLC. So although that they do not really specific that, but we over here we know lah. Okay, so provider LLC difficult. Yeah.
So do they have to have like this company must exist for certain years, that kind of thing?
To be safe, 3 years. When you do any submission, they ask for your past 3-year financial report. And this past 3-year financial report refer to if you are private limited, means private limited. Meaning that, for example, maybe before that you are sole proprietor or you are partnership. Okay, you just changed maybe 1 year ago. Don't try your luck. Most of the time you don't get it. I will say that, right?
But then if you are starting a branding project,
this is not eligible for this EDG and MRA on that. To be safe, that they already put in that, you know, their criteria that 3 years. When we do submission, we know that they ask for 3 years financial report for this company. So assume without private limited or LLC. So assume that you only have 1 year private limited but you have decade of sole proprietor for decade. It don't count. It don't count. Okay. Of course, you can write to appeal lah, but to my understanding so far, the best is to play safe. Private limited normally no problem on that. Any more question? Okay. There's somebody asked me, Candy Tan, for grant, company must be incorrect for 3 years. Yes, we already asked. We already say that less than 3 years old, private cannot. They don't really say cannot, right? No, sorry, they don't really say cannot, but chances very slim. Okay, Candy, just to share, chances is very slim. Any more question?
Any question either to Warren or to Paichi himself?
Yeah, or you all have any question to Paichi, also fine. I leave my email at the chat board. If you all have any question, of course, you can send to me. Even about Guangzhou Zhiwei you can you can send to us as well, so that we can reply on that. We will, if anything that we are not sure, we will check with Paichi group first before we revert to you. Okay, that's all for me.